I would like to start by thanking Mr. Bikram Dasgupta ji for inviting me to the 22nd Convocation of the Globsyn Business School. And I must congratulate him for building Globsyn Business School in one of the finest business schools in the country, and institute of choice in the eastern region. I realize that this journey has been more than 25 years in making. I think close to 30 years now. And I'm very sure that this would not have been anything but easy. My sincere admiration for what you have built, Mr. Dasgupta ji, and I wish and pray for more power to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to be here today with all of you. It is indeed a great honor for me to share the dais with Swami Atma Priyanand Maharaj ji, who represents an organization that I deeply respect. My namaskar to you. I see that there are few parents of graduating children in the hall today. And I would like to tell them that while it is your children who are getting the degrees today, but I believe that you have been an equal contributor to their journey, to this journey. And this day is as much about their achievement as your achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, and especially to the young children, the graduating class of 2025, let me tell you that when Professor Bhattacharya approached me some time back to deliver the convocation address, I came up with all sorts of excuses. And those of you who know Professor Bhattacharya would know that it was a wasted effort. Let me start by confessing that the reason was very different. It was not that I was busy or I was traveling. The reason was very simple. I was very unsure of what is it that I could speak to a young generation of MBA graduates who are much more tech savvy than me, much better informed, and in many ways, they are much better prepared to deal with the world than what I was 35 years ago. As I look around, I see bright and intelligent faces. And it takes me back to my own graduation 35 years ago. All that I remember of that day was that I was busy taking a lot of photographs with my friends, my professors, having a lot of fun. There was laughter, there was celebration, there was joy. I don't remember anything about the convocation address. But on that day, nobody had heard about internet or B2B e-commerce. And yet, within 7 years of graduating, I found myself working for a B2B e-commerce company, a company which was founded on technology, internet technology, which had a business model that did not exist the day I graduated. I remember fields like AI and neural networks, these subjects were not much, exciting at that point of time. I mean, they were regarded as dead subjects. There was hardly, an interest in those subjects. And as we see today, AI, digital tools, technologies are shaping the world in a way that we have not seen. They have touched each industry, each function, each role. And that brings me to one of the key points that I wanted to talk to you all about. They say that the only constant in this world is change. And I fully agree, with that statement. That statement holds true. And, if anything, or if I were to suggest any change to that statement, it is that the change has become even faster. So my young friends, the graduating class of 2025, I know that you have been equipped very well at the Globsyn Business School to take on the world. You are very well prepared. But remember that the world is changing, and it is changing fast. And success in a changing world requires you to continue to keep learning and to remain curious. The real test is not what you know today, it is how fast you can learn tomorrow. As you are starting your career path, I can't refrain from giving, few advice. In today's corporate world, professionals who solve problems are valued much more than people who merely perform their roles. So when you join the organization, find out, ask, in terms of what is the problem that you are required to solve. And I say this a little philosophically, and this is what I have seen in the last 35 years of my careers, that some problems, or many problems, take a long time to disappear. The problems remain. The solutions keep evolving. The approaches keep evolving over a period of time. And that is why it is very important that you keep refreshing your approaches and keep evolving, your methods, your thinking. Today, in this world, there are lots of powerful technologies like AI, data, digital tools. Use them to solve real problems. And remember, tomorrow there could be even more powerful technologies. Be open to learn them. And with that, I would like to come to my second point. What begins today is not a sprint, it's a journey. And Professor Bhattacharya made, mention of that. Remember that careers are never, or they are rarely linear. There will be setbacks. Things will not go as planned. And I say this from experience. I made mention, of my convocation day 35 years ago. And I also remember that on that day, there were many of my friends who didn't have a job that day, who were not placed. Okay? But today, some of them are among the most successful among them. The lesson is simple. They did not give up. And that would be, my second advice to you is to be resilient, take and draw learning from each setback, each detour, each unplanned thing, which may come up, because they will come up, for sure. My young friends, my last advice for you for the day is that as you build your careers, also think about the kind of world that you want to build. Professor Bhattacharya made mention of that. The world today is in strife. Several countries are at war with each other. Climate risk, inequality, resource constraints are no longer distant concern. They are real business risks to the society. So as you step into this world, evaluate your decisions, not just by profits, but its impact on customers, society, and the environment. The world that you enter today is complex, but it is also full of opportunities. Our country is now one of the fastest growing economies in the world. And it is you, the graduates of today, who will influence whether the growth in our country is inclusive and sustainable. Building a better world is no longer a choice. It is a responsibility. And that will define both your success and legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, and especially to my young friends here, in conclusion, I would like to say that the future is not something that you enter. It is something that you build. You have the capability, you have the opportunity, and we have the trust that you will build it well. Thank you.